Let's now take a look at the gospel for September 27th. It's a relatively short gospel, and it's Matthew 21, verses 28 to 32. Now, those of you who are parents, do you have children that sometimes say, "No, I'm not going to do that," and stamp off in a pout? Well, I have a 4-year-old who is prone to that. And sometimes now he's coming around to thinking better of his decision and then going ahead and cleaning up his cars or whatever it is we're asking him to do. Well, this gospel has that lesson to it. It begins, Jesus said to the chief priests and elders of the people, "What is your opinion? A man had 2 sons. He came to the first and said, 'Son, go out and work in the vineyard today.' He said in reply, 'I will not.' Well, he thinks better of it, and he in fact goes and does the father's will. But there's another son to whom the father asks, 'Go out and do what I need you to do.' And the second son says, 'Yes, Father,' but then doesn't. We might have experiences of children doing that as well. Well, Jesus juxtaposes these 2 sons of his. The one who is at first resistant, but then is inclined to do the Father's will. That's the one who is justified in the eyes of God, not the one who talks a good game, but the one who does a good game, lives it out, actually. So we have a God, Jesus revealing to us, who is more about substance than style. And of course, it's natural for us at times to struggle in our response to God, especially if God is calling upon us to do difficult things, like being a parent, being a spouse, being a loving child of elderly parents, aging parents, being a faithful and diligent employee. There are so many things that are a challenge in a normal setting, and we know that now with pandemic and all the strife and economic challenges that are out there, we are in extraordinarily difficult times. So for us to say yes to God's will can cause us at times to be hesitant, to have us wonder if we're up to the task, whether we want to, in fact, be our best selves. That's when we should pray. That's when we should ask God for the grace and the strength and the wisdom to be able to say yes to God's will time and again. And if it is difficult at times, all we need to do is look at a crucifix to realize that following Jesus will have its challenges, to say the least. In the end, we, in large and small ways, are asked by our God to join Jesus on the cross. This is a part of discipleship, but we are also promised resurrection with Jesus. So, questions that I ask for your reflection. Was today a day of yeses in your life? Was it a day of no's? Probably the truth is there was a mix of both. Some days are more wins and some days are more losses. But even on our worst days, we probably had some wins. What is God asking of you these days? What are the great challenges? What are the great opportunities that God is putting before you to live your life more deeply, more joyfully in the midst of challenge and struggle? So these are some of the thoughts I have for the Sunday Gospel of September 27th.